Good evening, Virgo. I see you, and I need you to hear this. You will be blessed for all of this, for all the pain you've endured, for all the nights you cried yourself to sleep, for all the times you got back up when staying down would have been easier, for all the moments you chose to keep breathing when breathing felt like the hardest thing in the world. The universe sees you, God sees you, life sees you. And blessings are coming that will make all of this pain make sense. So let's sit with this. Let's talk about your pain, about what it's been teaching you, about why it matters, and let's talk about the blessings that are approaching, the ones you've earned through every tear, every struggle, every moment you refuse to quit. Take what resonates here. This is about honoring your journey. You remain in control of your healing, always. This is simply an invitation to understand that your pain hasn't been pointless and your blessings are closer than you think. Let me start by saying it's okay to cry. You don't have to hold it together all the time. You don't have to be strong every single moment. The tears you've been holding back, they need to come out. They need to be released. Because crying isn't weakness, it's release. It's your body's way of processing what your mind can't make sense of. It's healing in liquid form. So if you need to cry right now, cry, let it out. Let yourself feel what you've been trying not to feel. You've been so brave for so long. You've been holding yourself together when everything in your life was falling apart, and that takes strength that most people will never understand. But you don't have to be that strong right now. Not here, not in this moment. You can let the armor down. You can let the tears fall. You can admit that it's been hard, that you're tired, that you're hurting. Because acknowledging the pain doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. Let me ask you something. What have you been through? What pain have you been carrying that no one fully knows about? Because I feel like you've been suffering in silence. You've been going through things that would break most people, and you've been doing it quietly. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you were betrayed by someone you trusted. Maybe your body has been fighting something. Maybe your mind has been battling darkness. Maybe you've been dealing with financial stress that's been suffocating you. Maybe you've been lonely in ways that ache. Maybe you've been carrying trauma that still haunts you. Is less than #0. 5 hash is greater than whatever it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you've had to go through that. I'm sorry it's been so hard. I'm sorry you've had to be so strong. And I am telling you, you will be blessed for enduring it, for surviving it, for not giving up, even when giving up felt like the only option. You know what I'm picking up on most strongly? The sense that you're exhausted. Not just tired, exhausted, soul tired, bone tired. The kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. The kind that comes from carrying too much for too long with too little support. You've been running on empty for months, maybe years. You've been giving from a well that's been dry, and you're wondering how much longer you can keep going like this, how much more you can take before you completely break. And I need you to hear this. You're not going to break. You're bending, yes. You're stretched thin, yes. But you're not breaking because there's something in you that's unbreakable. Something that's been forged through all this pain. And that unbreakable part of you, it's about to be blessed in ways that restore everything you've lost and give you more than you had before. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine waking up one morning and the weight is lighter, the pain is softer. You're not magically healed, you're not pretending nothing happened, but something has shifted. There's relief where there was only heaviness. There's hope where there was only despair. There's a blessing that's entered your life that's making the pain feel worth it. That's making you understand why you had to go through what you went through. That's what's coming. That moment when you look back and you see how the pain positioned you for the blessing, how the struggle prepared you for the success, how the breakdown led to the breakthrough. You can't see it yet because you're still in it, but it's there, it's approaching, and it's going to be so good that you'll cry tears of gratitude instead of tears of grief. Now, let me talk about what these blessings might look like. Because I don't think they're going to be small. I don't think they're going to be subtle. I think they're going to be significant, undeniable, proportional to what you've endured. Because the universe doesn't operate on small scales when it's repaying large debts. When you've suffered greatly, the blessings come greatly. For some of you, this is going to be relational. Someone is going to enter your life who restores your faith in people, who shows you what real love looks like, what real friendship looks like. Someone who sees your scars and doesn't run, who hears your story and stays. Someone who makes you feel safe in ways you haven't felt safe in years. And that person, that connection, it's going to heal parts of you that you thought were permanently broken. For others, this is going to be material, financial blessings that relieve the stress you've been under, opportunities that change your circumstances, is less than has hone. Zero hash is greater than. Not just enough to get by, but enough to actually thrive, enough to rest, enough to stop worrying about how you're going to make it through the month. And that relief, it's going to feel like breathing for the first time in forever. For some, this is going to be physical. Your body healing in ways you'd stopped believing were possible, your energy returning, your pain lessening. Not necessarily overnight, not necessarily completely, but enough that you can function again. Enough that you can participate in life instead of just surviving it. And that restoration, it's going to feel like a miracle. And for many of you, it's going to be internal. Peace that you haven't felt in years, joy that you thought you'd lost forever. The ability to laugh again without it feeling fake. The ability to hope again without feeling stupid. The ability to trust that good things can happen to you, that life isn't just an endless series of losses and disappointments. And that internal shift, it's going to change everything else. Let me slow down here because I want to acknowledge something. Some of you might be reading this and thinking, I've heard this before. People keep telling me blessings are coming, but they never do. And I get that. I understand that cynicism. When you've been in pain for so long, when you've been disappointed so many times, it's hard to believe that things can actually get better. It's hard to trust that the suffering has a purpose, that the pain is leading somewhere. But what if it is? What if your blessings have been delayed not because you don't deserve them, but because you weren't ready for them? What if the pain has been building capacity in you to handle the blessings when they arrive? What if you needed to be broken down so you could be rebuilt stronger? I know that's hard to hear when you're hurting. I know it sounds like spiritual bypassing, like toxic positivity, but I'm not saying your pain is good. I'm not saying you deserved it. I'm saying it hasn't destroyed you, it's shaped you. And what it's shaped you into, that that's someone who can receive and steward blessings in ways you couldn't have before. Let me ask you another question. What have you learned from your pain? Not in a everything happens for a reason way, but really, what do you know now that you didn't know before? What strength have you discovered in yourself? What compassion have you developed? What clarity have you gained about what matters and what doesn't? What boundaries have you learned to set? What patterns have you learned to break? What people have you learned to release? Because pain is a teacher, a brutal one, a teacher you never would have chosen, but a teacher nonetheless. And if you're willing to look past the hurt for just a moment, you'll see what it's taught you. You'll see how it's made you wiser, stronger, more discerning, more real. And those lessons, they're part of the blessing. They're preparing you for what's next. Drop a comment if you've been in pain for what feels like forever. If you're tired of being strong, tired of pretending you're okay, tired of waiting for things to get better. Because I think when we share our pain, when we admit it's real, when we stop pretending, we create space for healing. We realize we're not alone. We realize other people understand, and that understanding, it's its own kind of blessing. Let's sit with this for a moment. What if your pain has been the price of admission to a completely different life? What if you had to go through what you went through to get where you're going? Not because some cruel force wanted you to suffer, but because transformation requires death. The old version of you had to die for the new version to be born. The old life had to fall apart for the new life to have space to form. And you're in that death phase right now. The painful part. The part where everything's dissolving and nothing new has fully formed yet. The part where you're between who you were and who you're becoming. And that's the hardest part. But it's also temporary. The rebirth is coming. The blessings are coming. The new life is forming. You just have to hold on a little longer. You know what else I'm sensing? Some of you have been asking, why me? Why did I have to go through this? Why did this happen to me? And I don't have a satisfying answer to that question. I don't know why bad things happen to good people, why innocent people suffer, why life is so unfair sometimes. But I do know this: you didn't deserve it. Whatever you went through, you didn't deserve it. And the fact that it happened doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Sometimes pain is random. Sometimes it's the consequence of other people's choices. Sometimes it's just life being life. But how you respond to it, that's where your power is. And you've been responding with courage, with resilience, with a refusal to let the pain win. And that's why the blessings are coming. Not because you earned them through suffering, but because you remained open to them despite the suffering. Let me offer you something practical about receiving these blessings when they arrive. First, stay open. I know it's tempting to close your heart to protect yourself from more disappointment by expecting nothing. But if you close yourself off completely, you won't be able to receive what's trying to reach you. So stay soft, stay open, stay willing to believe that good things can still happen. Second, don't reject the blessings when they come. Sometimes when we've been in pain for so long, we don't trust good things. We think they're traps. We think they won't last. We think we don't deserve them. And we sabotage them. We push them away. Don't do that. When blessings arrive, receive them fully. Say thank you. Let yourself have them. Third, remember the pain. Not in a way that keeps you stuck, but in a way that keeps you grateful. Remember where you came from so you can appreciate where you're going. Remember what you survived so you can honor your own strength. Remember the dark so you can fully appreciate the light when it comes. Fourth, help others. When you're blessed, when things get better, when you come through to the other side, reach back. Help someone else who's still in the pain you used to be in. Share your story. Offer hope. Be the person for someone else that you needed when you were struggling. Because blessings aren't just for you, they're meant to flow through you to others. Let me ask you one final question. What would it feel like to be on the other side of this pain? To look back and know you survived? To be living in the blessings that came after the suffering? To feel joy again, peace again, hope again? To laugh without forcing it? To sleep without crying first? To wake up without immediately remembering everything that's wrong? Hold that feeling. Hold that vision, because that's where you're headed. Not today, maybe, not tomorrow, maybe, but soon. Sooner than you think. The pain is temporary. The blessings are coming, and they're going to make all of this worth it. Take what resonates from this reading, leave what doesn't, and remember that you remain in control of your healing, of your hope, of how you hold this pain. You will be blessed for all the pain you've endured. Not because the pain was good, not because you deserved it, but because you survived it, because you kept going, because